Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Paul, and thank you for coming. Um, this is the first of a series, and I know tonight's a free session. We have many people join the first time. I've been told there's close to 2,000 people enrolled, so that's it's a little intimidating. But I'm going to do a brief introduction about myself and how I work for those of you who are new. I don't plan these things. I know the title. I'm a clairaudient. I'm really taking dictation. The guides that I work with have delivered a series of books. There are 5 in print now and a 6th on the way that are really the unedited transcripts of channeling sessions just like this. They've been teaching under the umbrella title of Beyond the Known since they completed dictation on the Book of Freedom, which was finished about 4 months ago and will be out in the fall. So they're clearly preparing for new teachings. My assumption is that tonight is going to be introductory to whatever they're going to be doing with us for a while. And also, my guides teach in what they describe as a one-room schoolhouse. So they're bringing everybody to the work at the level that they can come to. And they usually attune people to the energy as well. The guides work with energy that's often quite palpable for people. So my story briefly, for those of you who are new, I was raised something of an atheist. I didn't know what a spiritual life was or why one would want one or that one could be had. And when I was about 25, I hit a real wall and I began to look for something more really out of sheer necessity, not because I thought it would be a nice thing to get spiritual. I was a year out of grad school. I had a list of things I had to achieve in the world that I thought would make me okay. I got the whole list. It was a fancy list and I wasn't okay. And that's really what happened. I had an experience shortly thereafter of energy that left me seeing little lights around people. And to get a context for that, I studied a form of energy healing. And I found that when I had my hands on people, I could hear for them. I was gathering information for them that was provable by them. And as it began to be proven out, I began to trust it a bit more. So I was developing as a clairaudient and as a clairsentient, beginning to feel what other people were feeling and being able to read that information without really knowing what those things were. So I'm not a trained medium or even a trained channel. Um, I began to do a group in my apartment that met for about 18 years. There were about 10 people that would show up. We'd put 20 bucks in a basket, and that was the evening. And all the while I was, having another career. I was on the faculty of NYU for 25 years. I was running a graduate program at a small college in Vermont as well. And I really was not looking to be known for this work. But really what began to happen was the guides began dictating entire books through me in sittings. And once the books began being published, there was sort of no way to pretend that this wasn't my work. So now I travel around and I do workshops, and Dustin and I sort of show up in cities all over the place. And for the kind of experience, hopefully, that you'll be having tonight. As I said, I don't prepare for these things. If you're new, I should probably say that I'm not the most graceful channel in the world. I whisper the words as they come and I repeat them. People hear things twice. It takes a little getting used to. I hope you'll bear with it. Most people sort of fall in at some place of understanding. But I just deliver what I hear and how I hear it. And really, every time I do these things, I just hope that the reception is clear. I sort of use the metaphor of being a radio for this work. And the guides are the station that I'm playing. And if I'm tuning into you, when you offer questions, you may be the radio that I'm playing as well. So that's what this is. So I'd like to begin. I'd like to start off with a prayer of protection. I just do this because it sets a common field, and I've been doing it for 25 years of doing this or so, and I find that it sets an intention that I like to hold. Okay, so not that there's anything to be worried about. It's something that I do. So I'd like us all to sit back, close our eyes. And if you would, very, very, very softly, please. Barely a whisper. Repeat after me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the Spirit of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. So be it. Silently set the intention that you're only open and receptive to those energies and information which are for your highest good in the perfect amounts needed for your healing and evolution at this time. Lord, I am Lord. Now ask yourself the questions. Now ask yourselves these questions. Am I willing to learn? I'm going to go beyond what I'm taught. Am I willing to go beyond what I've been taught, what I have been taught, what I've agreed to thus far, what I have agreed to thus far, what claimed by me, what may be claimed by me in a higher octave, I'm going to learn. Am I willing to learn beyond the trust I've had, beyond the trust I have had in the known world, in the known world, the articles of faith, the articles of faith that have been given to me, that have been given to me, the ways of deciding, what is what, and what can be, and what can be. Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to learn what may be claimed, what may be claimed in a higher way, beyond what you thought possible, beyond what you have thought possible? If the answer is yes, if the answer is yes, we are here to teach you. We are here to teach you and to bring you forth, and to bring you forth to an awareness of who you truly are, of who you truly are, beyond the known, beyond the identified, beyond the identified for you, beyond what has been claimed for you, or by you in history, or by you in history, or teaching you what you are. We are teaching you what you are, the manifestation of the divine form, the manifestation of the divine in form, not who, but what, the clarity that comes with what, and the clarity that comes with what, the re-identification, of form itself, as of God, clarifies your experience, in embodiment, beyond what you believe possible, beyond what you have believed possible. The identification, I am a divine self, I am the divine self, is the predecessor to this teaching, is the predecessor to this teaching. We'll take you there, and we will take you there in increments, those of you who are new, and invite you forth from new experience to a new experience of embodiment, the clarification, and the clarification of identity, that can be held, that can begin to be held by one who knows what he is, by one who knows what he is, the divine in form. Not one of you here, nor the man before you, knows what he is, You believe you are what you were. You believe you are what you were taught to be, the heritage you claimed, in form and field. In form and field is a limited field, supporting a limited form, the vibration of the true self, and the vibration of the true self, the who that you are, the manifest what that you are as well, the manifest what that you are as well, is here to be realized, and claimed beyond what you have thought possible. The discipline required for this will be claimed by you each, if you are willing to come with us, if you are willing to come with us. And by willing we mean willing to acquiesce, to a model that supersedes what you believe possible, what you have believed possible. By model, we mean an inherited structure may be claimed by each of you, that may be claimed by each of you as the manifest self, as the manifest self who seeks to agree to her true nature, to her true nature, his embodiment, the claim I am free, the claim I am free, which we'll be working with here, which we will be working with here, is to claim you outside of the context or prior agreement or attachment of believe you in to who you believe you have been and the form you have taken and the form that you have taken, which bears the encouragement of a life lived on this plane, of a life lived on this plane, seeks its own liberation to remedy the past, the agreements made in fear, the things hidden behind the back, that seek to be revealed, that we don't know, so that they may be known anew. Each one of you who comes to us comes with an awareness of who she is, an iota of an idea of what she may be, beyond the veil, beyond the known, beyond the known, beyond the fear that has been utilized to keep her at bay, that has been utilized to keep her at bay. But as we sing your song for you, we know you are in truth. We know who you are in truth. We know what you are in truth. We know what you are in truth. We know how you serve in truth. We know how you serve in truth. We claim you anew. And we lift you to the sound. And we lift you to the sound, the voice of the true self, in tone that be claimed for you, that may be claimed for you in the vibratory field, for the benefit of all you for the benefit of all you encounter. The teaching you receive through this instruction, will be operating on multiple levels. The vibrational field, the vibratory oracle, the vibratory oracle that you are will be claimed anew, by your acquiescence to its truth, We don't make you what you are not. We don't make you what you are not. We show you've always been. We show you who you have always been, a vibrational field, and the vibrational field which will support you in knowing, and reclaiming identity in form and field. Is here to be supported, through this teaching. We also teach in language. And the words that we use are chosen carefully, and the words that we use are chosen carefully to structure you, and the energetic field you hold. In the energetic field you hold to a vibrational agreement. Yes, these are attunements. And that was for him who was asking, for the descriptor, but the intonation language used. But the intonation of the language we use when you speak it with us, brings us into vibrational accord with the true nature of being, that which you have always been, that which you have always been, and can only be in the high octave that we know ourselves through, because we do not blemish the features you hold, with the ideas you hold, of what is so terribly wrong with you, because we know you beyond the claimed, because we know you beyond what you've claimed or believed yourselves to be, we can relift you. We can relift you to the octave you know yourself in, in a pure state. And in grace you may encourage yourself. Encourage yourself to reside in the high octave, without the fear you used, to manifest a reality in agreement with the sphere, in agreement with others' fear. Finally, we have to say, Finally, we have to say that the instruction will be taking place, that the instruction will be taking place not only in the classroom, not only in the classroom, but in the lives that you will live, but in the lives that you will live as you partake in this teaching. As you partake in this teaching, each day you will have a new lesson. Each day you will have a new lesson by your own agreement, by your own agreement in what needs to be resolved, in what needs to be resolved, or reseen, or reseen, or reknown, or reknown, to claim your higher identity, to claim your higher identity in the release of the old. And the release of the old, that which has inhibited this, that which has inhibited this will be pronounced and perhaps seen as you say thank you to it, as you say thank you to it, and send it to the light, and send it to the light, which is its infinite source as well, which is its infinite source as well. The reclamation of true self, the reclamation of the true self in form, in vibration and field, in vibration and field, has always been this work, has always been this work, and the renunciation of what has never been true, of what has never been true, but perhaps believed to be true, but perhaps was believed to be true, is implicit here as well, is implicit here as well. You cannot be the light. You cannot be the light and hold another darkness and hold another in darkness, nor can you be the true self, nor can you be the true self and decide that you are dark, and decide that you are dark, or unworthy, or unworthy, or unmerciful, or unmeritful, or untrue, or untrue. The divine aspect of you, the divine aspect of you that we call the true self, that we call the true self, the eternal self, the Christ itself. The Christ itself is the vibratory oracle, the one who knows who you are, the one who knows who you are, and can announce for you, the way through the darkness that may come, the way through the darkness that may come. In this passage you encounter into a higher way of expressing the self, of expressing the self. Now, if you understand what we mean here, now, if you understand what we mean here, we are taking you someplace you have been. We are taking you someplace you have not been. Beyond the known is the teaching. Beyond the known is the teaching. And to move beyond the known, and to move beyond the known, you must relinquish the ability. You must relinquish the ability, or the requirement, to claim the old, in service only because it's what has been, only because it's what has been. You have things you will carry with you. You have things you will carry with you: your comprehension, your intelligence, your love, your willingness, your acceptance, and your self-worth, you will carry what you require across this threshold, to what is beyond the known, to what is beyond the known, but none of what is not needed, Finally, we have to say, we'll be able to enter with you, because that which is not of the light, that which you fear, or have claimed in fear, will be left behind you, Now, this is cause for celebration. You aren't being divested of what you want. You are not being divested of what you want. You are releasing the very things. You are releasing the very things that preclude your passage, through the eye of the needle, And the eye of the needle, we have to say, and the eye of the needle, we have to say, is what you are entering here, on this path beyond the known, in this path beyond the known, the rectification of the true self, as what you are, in manifestation, which means embodied, is the fruit of the teaching, It is a passage you may undergo, not only in this life, but in those that will follow, but the release of what is unhindered, unneeded, unrequired, unrequired for this journey, for this journey will be met by you, will be met by you, not only in sovereignty, not only in sovereignty, you align to what you are, you align to what you are at the cost of what you've never been, at the cost of what you have never been, but in agreement to truth, but in agreement to truth. Now, what is true? Now, what is true, is always true, and will always be so, and will always be so in your true nature. And your true nature, the divine, is what you are, the divine as what you are, the carriage you hold, the manifest form, the manifest form, the eyes that see, the lips that kiss, the lips that kiss, the hands that touch, and breathe all aspects of you. All aspects of you are of God, but must be reclaimed, in a firmament, in an agreement with the manifest self, to the manifest self, the what that you are, the embodiment of the divine. The embodiment of the divine actually exists in form, but in a higher octave, than you have borne witness to, thus far in your experience. We have taught this prior. We will say it here as well. Everything you can imagine, everything that you can imagine exists in multiple octaves, and the body itself may be sung in a high C, or a low C, the frequency of the body, and then what it claims in co-resonance, through the field you hold in the collective shared experience, and the collective shared experience of the group field, will be manifesting itself, in a new way, again beyond the known, again beyond the known. Now the reciprocity here. The reciprocity here that you will agree to, is our charge, our agreement to teach, and to support each one of you, and to support each one of you as you can hold it, in the vibratory mandate, of this agreement, This is a new word, he says. A vibratory mandate. A vibratory mandate. That sounds terrible. All it really is an agreement to claim you are, is an agreement to claim who you are at the cost of what you've never been, at the cost of what you have never been. You are not afraid. You are not afraid. You are not unworthy. You are not unworthy. You are not unloved. You are not unloved. You are not even unattractive. You are not even unattractive, although you claim these things. Some of you in ridiculous ways, the embodiment of the divine as you, the embodiment of the divine as you will actually supersede the directives you have used, to create your experience, on the shared plane, on this shared plane, and as you are lifted by the new agreements. And as you are lifted by the new agreements, the manifest self begins to operate in a high way, and claim what she requires, in co-resonance. The mandate, very simply put, is that we will not play with you, we will not encourage your fear. We will not encourage your fear. Support your shame. Pat you on the back. For your frailty, for your frailty or your sensitivity or your sensitivity. We will love you in all ways. We will love you in all ways. We will love your frailty. We will love your frailty, or what you believe that to be, or what you believe that to be, but we will not honor the fear. But we will not honor the fear that you utilize to self-identify through, because the moment we do this, we go into what you're not, we go into agreement to what you are not. Now we have to say this for Paul. Now we have to say this for Paul, who is rather stunned in the background. What do you mean it's not okay? What do you mean it's not okay to be sensitive, or to feel less than, or to feel less than? We feel what we feel. We feel what we feel. You are lying to yourselves. You are lying to yourselves when you claim these things. When you claim these things, you are telling a lie. You are telling a lie not only to yourself, but everyone you meet, but to everyone you meet. And the claim of fear, I am unworthy. I cannot be loved. I cannot be loved or known anew, will encourage your vibrational field to seek its like resonance, It will be proven right, and you will be proven right because you are sovereign in your creations, because you are sovereign in your creations. We do not agree. We do not agree with what you are not, because we love you. Because we love you, we do not agree with what you fear. We do not agree with what you fear, because we know who you are. Because we know who you are and the beliefs that you hold. And the beliefs that you hold, that you will not be safe, as you undergo this passage. As you undergo this passage, will be remedied by undergoing the passage, itself. Do you all hear these words? Tell me I will be safe. Tell me I will be safe before I board the airplane. You will not know. You will not know until you're in the air, until you are in the air, and you will not know. And you will not know until you deplane, that you have always been safe, that you have always been safe. Here's the guarantee we offer you. Here is the guarantee we offer you, each one present tonight. Each will hear these words at a later date. Each will hear these words at a later date. Not only are you loved, you are known. You are known, capital K known, and agreed to, by what you believe yourselves to be, and the claim of fear, that you have operated with, as a collective species, must now be dismantled, for the higher octave, that is present now, to be known as manifest, Understand what the kingdom is, friends. Understand what the kingdom is, friends. The kingdom as we claim it. The awareness of the divine. The awareness of the divine in all manifestation. In all manifestation is an octave of expression, as you align to it. And as you align to it, as the one who knows who he is, as the one who knows who he is, who she is, what he is, what she is, what she serves, and how he and she serves, and how he and she serves is in manifestation. The claim of the kingdom. The claim of the kingdom is made known to you, You come what you claim you are. You become what you claim you are, because this is who you have always been, because this is who you have always been in truth. Now, because we teach in love, Now, because we teach in love, we do not remedy. We do not remedy as much as support, as much as support we claim for you. We claim for you the who and the what that you truly are, the who and the what that you truly are, so that you may go into agreement with us in co-resonance, and then claim the world before you, and then claim the world before you, the days of lying to the self, the days of lying to the self about who and what you are, about who and what you are, have ended, have ended. They are over. They are over. And the discomfort of this, and the discomfort of this for many of you, and for him as well, and for him as well, as a deep grief, is a deep grief that what you thought you were, that what you thought you were, or believed yourselves to be, or believed yourselves to be, has never been true, has never been true. What am I if I am not the one? What am I if I am not the one who was so badly wounded, who was so badly wounded, or so terrified, or so terrified, or so angry, or so angry? Who and what am I? Who and what am I if I am not what my mother said, if I am not what my mother said, or the church decided, or the church decided, or the lawyer said, or the lawyer said, or the magistrate, or the magistrate? What am I? What am I if I am not the reflection I see in the mirror? If I am not the reflection I see in the mirror, the true self you see, the true self you see is here to be known, is here to be known, and she will sing, and she will sing. He will announce, he will announce, and as he does, the claims of history, the claims of history, the things that you believed or agreed to, the things that you've believed or agreed to will fall away, some with a breath, some with the breath, some with a sigh, some with a sigh, some with a torrent of tears, some with a torrent of tears, and some with great thunder, and some with great thunder. Imagine, if you wish, imagine, if you wish, a man encased in clay, a man encased in clay. He has believed himself to be the clay. He has believed himself to be the clay, and it has hardened, and it has hardened, and is brittle, but the belief that he can be free, that he can be free of what he has known himself to be, of what he has known himself to be, as incongruous to him, is incongruous to him, impossible to perceive, impossible to him to perceive. He has known himself this way. He has known himself this way for so very long. For so very long, the idea of freedom, the idea of freedom is illusory, is illusory. Now you will say this with us if you wish. Now you will say this with us if you wish. And by this announcement, the claim will be made. The claim will be made to release the man in clay, to release the man in clay, the woman in clay, the woman in clay, to her true nature, to her true nature. And as the scraps fall, and as the scraps fall, as the limbs become free, as the limbs become free, as the face becomes mobile, as the face becomes mobile, as the eyes perceive what could not have been perceived prior, what could not have been perceived prior, you may begin to agree. You may begin to agree to what is not only possible, but not what is only possible, but what is always present, but what is always present, beyond the known. Yes, beyond the known. Yes, yes. These are the words you will say if you wish. These are the words you will say if you wish, and you may speak them very gently after us. And you may speak them very gently after us. I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. I am free. I am free. I am free. Be received by us, each one of you here. Be received by us, each one of you here. We come not only as a cloud, we come not only as a cloud, but as a rain cloud, but as a rain cloud, and as the rain comes, and as the rain comes, the clay that you have felt, the clay that you have felt, the hardened substance, the shell that you have used, the shell that you have used to disguise your grace, to disguise your grace, your true being will not only begin to melt, will not only begin to melt, but cool away, but cool away. We will say these words for you each. We will say these words for you each. We know who you are in truth. We know what you are in truth. We know how you serve in truth. You are free. You are free. You are free. You are free. Now the song has been sung. Now the song has been sung. The announcement has been made. The announcement has been made. The encouragement will come. The encouragement will come not only by request, but by alignment, but by alignment to announce these words. And when you announce these words, for they are your words to sing, for they are your words to sing. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. I know how I serve. The reckoning in the field you hold. The reckoning in the field that you hold will support the transformation, will support the transformation that brings you, that other word brings you forth to the agreements you are making now, to the agreements you are making now. We will say these words to you now. We will say these words to you now if you wish to continue with this teaching. If you wish to continue with this teaching, you must not only be prepared for change. You must not only be prepared for change, but willing to experience, but be willing to experience it as it wishes to come, as it wishes to come. The changes you undergo through this teaching, the changes you undergo through this teaching under the jurisdiction of the whole, are under the jurisdiction of the soul and the true self, the divine within, the divine within, who seeks her expression as you, who seeks her expression as you. She knows the limitations you've been under. She knows the limitations you've been under, believed yourself to be in, believed yourself to be in, and she comprehends the circumstance created them, and she comprehends the circumstances that created them, but because she is who she is, but because she is who she is, because he is who he has always been, because he is who he has always been, he will not agree to them. He will not agree to them as more powerful than the true nature, of the true self, the expression of being, in the claim. In the claim, I know how I serve. I know how I serve. Now, when you claim these words, I know how I serve. I know how I serve. The vibration you hold in emanation will actually transform your expression in fullness. And as we engage in this teaching, we will teach you this as well. We will teach you this as well. Paul is interrupting. Are you going to take their questions? Are you going to take their questions? We may take anything we like. We will pause in a moment for that. Yes. We will pause in a moment for that. Yes, we'd like to attune the word, but we would like to attune them to the word. There are many new students here. We'll explain the attunement, and we will explain the attunement as we bring it forth. These are the words we use. These are the words we use in the attunement of the word. In the attunement into the Word, and the Word as we claim it. And the Word as we claim it is the energy of action, is the energy of the Creator in action. You may say this if you wish. You may say this if you wish after we speak the words. After we speak the words. I am Word through my body. Word, I am Word. I am Word through my vibration. Word, I am Word. I am Word through my knowing of myself as Word. As Word. Word, I am Word. When you claim I am Word through my body, you align the vibration, you align the vibration of the Word, the form you've taken to the form you have taken. I am Word through my vibration. I am Word through my vibration, claims the energy of the Word, claims the energy of the Word in the field you hold. In the field you hold, I am Word through my knowing of myself. I am Word through my knowing of myself, reclaims the identity, reclaims the identity, the truth of who and what you are, the truth of who and what you are and have always been and have always been. We will invite you now. We will invite you now to claim these words, to claim these words to all who are present here, to all who are present here, those who hear these words, those who hear these words on this night or on some other night, or on some other night. The vibration is present now. The vibration is present now and will be present whenever it is heard, and will be present whenever it is heard. You may say this to your fellows. You may say this to your fellows. I know you are truth. I know who you are in truth. Say this, please. Yes. I know what you are in truth. I know how you serve in truth. You are free, you are free, you are free, you are free. I am Word through each one present. Word, I am Word. Word, I am Word. Thank you each for your presence. Any questions? They're saying thank you each for your presence. We will continue with your questions. Period, period, period. Period, period, period. Okay. So I'm going to take a sip of something and my iced coffee, and then we'll see what the questions are tonight. I just asked if they were on the teaching, and I hear on whatever they wish. So I suppose as long as it relates to the teachings of your own lives, it's fine. And if there are questions they won't take, I'm sure we'll find out. So, please. I'm going to say good evening now to.
Hi, Paul. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello, Corey. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Paul. Thank you, the guides. I love you all so much. And I just wanted to say, your teachings just they're really just opening my eyes up to so many different aspects of the self. And for about 5 years now, I began to see. I mean, similar when you said you started seeing lights around people. I would see pillars of lights and vibrating balls of lights everywhere, and around even you, Paul, like tons of energies going up and down. It seems like at the speed of light. And when I close my eyes, I'm actually taken to, I would say, a very fluid realm of existence. And I heard in one of the teaching, they said, consciousness is very fluid. And in this realm, it seems like it's a constant test of fear, overcoming like, okay, what is that? What is that? What is this? And it's almost like there's so much happening that you shut the mind off and you just allow the heart to be your guide. And I feel like I'm tapping into the unknown. And it's been 5 years since I guess, exist in these two different realms. And I guess I'm wondering, because I'm given this option, because I could just close my eyes and immediately I'm there. Am I supposed to, I'm living in two different realms, but they are merging. But it's almost like if I close my eyes, I'm fully immersed into, I would say, an ocean of consciousness. And it's all with the only thing that I can express in that realm is true love, But then it's like, well, when I open my eyes, it's almost like, how do I balance this? Or do I really, for days, just allow myself to be in that other dimension and see what that brings?
Well, let me tune in. I'm going to see what I can get from you if I tune into you with this.
Yep,
You're much
wonderful.
farther along than I will ever be. So let me find out. The guides are actually talking, they're saying the young man is deciding who he is now and what he is as a vibrational being, as he continues in his path, as he continues in his path, as the higher octave plays as him, as the higher octave plays as him, what he begins to claim, in an experiential way. In an experiential way is the octave of experience, is the octave of experience that he has chosen, So the days of up and down. So the days of up and down, or back and forth, actually finish because you are maintaining the high octave, by not going into agreement, with that which was claimed at a lower vibration, with that which was claimed at a lower vibration. Each time you acquiesce to fear, you give it permission to teach you, you give it permission to teach you in the lessons of fear. And the lessons of fear will always be to claim more of the same, as you see this from the high perspective, and you understand the mechanism of fear, and you understand the machination of fear that is driving so much of your world, and you don't abide in it, you reclaim your world. You reclaim your world in the high octave you abide in. In the high octave you abide in. And this is the gift you give to others. And this is the gift you give to others. Trampoline still. He is on a trampoline still, and he is lifting high enough, and he is lifting high enough to comprehend that in the high place, there is peace. There is peace and understanding of who and what he truly is, period. They're saying period.
Wow.
I hope that
Wow.
helps.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to go on now. All right. Yes, please. I'm going to say hello now to a new name, Diana. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hello.
I'm so excited to be on with you. I was just making a little prayer as you close your eyes, and I said, I wonder if he's going to choose me. Maybe I'm supposed to go on next here. Okay, so I am in this really interesting situation. Despite the previous high frequency, I've been in a state of really scarcity, and which is not my normal state. I'm very good at manifesting, and I'm wondering what the lesson of this experience is, so I can really process it, because I have the higher intelligence. I'm able to channel a little bit myself as well, and I've kind of cut myself off, and I'm wondering, I think it's because I have a deep sense of fear, but I'm wondering if you can give me more insight so I can shift.
I don't know that I can, but I'm going to tune into you and see if I can get anything from you. When I sort of go from channel to psychic, it's a different way of working. When I go to you, you actually come through sort of bracing yourself as if to say, people don't understand me. And then you get kind of frozen. So the idea here, oddly, is that I'm not being understood. And because of this, I don't seem to be able to receive, which is actually kind of interesting. Like, I feel like I'm doing this as opposed to allowing or to creating in that way. So let's see if we can shift this at all. They're actually saying, the divine self knows what's needed, and she understands her position, as the one who may claim, when you require something. When you require something that is in alignment with your highest good, that is in alignment with your highest good, it may be claimed by you. It may be claimed by you in resonance, when you are not manifesting what you say you want. When you are not manifesting what you say you want or believe you need, you may be meeting other requirements. You may be meeting other requirements for your learning. You all come to learn through different ways. You all come to learn through different ways. And while prosperity is an honest thing to want, it's not what to learn. It is not the only way to learn, or not the only experience to have, or not the only experience to have. Tell the young lady to start agreeing to what can be, to start agreeing to what can be. Begin to move to potential. Begin to move to the potential of what can be, of what can be in each claim of possibility. In each claim of possibility, you open the door a bit more. You open the door a bit more to what you may manifest with, to what you may manifest with when experiencing scarcity. When you are experiencing scarcity in any area of your life, in any area of your life, you have not aligned the potential, you have not aligned the potential that is inherent in the situation, that is inherent in the situation, or you seek to claim something, or you are seeking to claim something that is not in honor, that is not in honor with your vibrational being, with your vibrational being. I'll give you an example. We will give him an example. I want all the money in the world. I want all the money in the world, says the one who believes that she must have that, says the one who believes she must have that, the fear-based self. The fear-based self assumes that there must be more, assumes that there must be more to be had in order to be solvent, in order to be solvent. The one who knows she can receive what she requires. The one who knows she can receive what she requires, and the source of all abundance, and the source of all abundance allows the energy to come, allows the energy to come in whatever ways it seeks to, in whatever ways it seeks to, and to claim what is required, and to claim what is required for her benefit, Please do this, yes. So I just asked about something. They said, please do this, yes, say this, yes. And they're saying, say this, yes. And this is really for everybody, because they taught this, I think, a few weeks ago. We were doing the live stream from Esalen, but it's the mudra of creation. And this is what they say the mudra of creation is. And, you know, where they say we're always creating, every one of us every day is creating. And you can be creating in a high way or a low way, perhaps. So do I take them through this? We would like to. They're saying we would like this. Would you all set this intention? Would you all set this intention? I have a right to prosperity. I have a right to prosperity. Hold your hands forward. Hold your hands forward and make the claim for yourself, and make the claim for yourselves. I have the right to prosperity. I have the right to prosperity. See if your hands get lighter. See if your hands get lighter, and lift upwards and lift upwards. This is a high claim. This is a high claim. You have the right to this. You have the right to this. And you are claiming in a high way. And when you are claiming in a high way, you bring the co-resonance to you. You bring the co-resonance to you. If it is required, that is required. There is never enough. There is never enough is also a claim of manifestation, is also a claim of manifestation. I will not be loved. I will not be loved. I will not get the money. I will not get the money. I will not find the mate. I will not find the mate. As you claim at this level, as you claim at this level, you will feel the heaviness. You will feel the heaviness of the claim, and you begin to operate, and you begin to operate with that as your co-resonance, with that as your co-resonance. Claim the higher, call it to you, so, and call it to you in an agreement that can be so, that it can be so, period. And they're saying period, okay? So I'm just gonna, you're welcome. I'm just gonna say this just for those people who maybe know. The metaphor that they've given with this, that they've in the past, has been that, you know, everything exists in this ocean. And so the mudra of creation's rather like, you know, floating on your belly on a raft at sea and calling the vibration to you, because they say we're always doing that. It's not about doing it consciously necessarily. We're always making claims. So I'm going to continue now. Here's a new name. Dwayne, good evening.
Good evening. Can you hear me, Paul?
I can. Hello.
Hi. Recently, I experienced a really traumatic event in my life, and I felt that it shifted really quickly, and I felt I let go and let go and let go of so much. And now I'm experiencing almost what I'd call this frequency of love. And I want to stay here. I don't want to go back to what I was experiencing. And if they have any advice as to how I can maintain the frequency that I'm feeling now.
They're saying be thankful for it, agree to it, agree to it. Don't be frightened of it going away. And don't be frightened of it going away. When you fear it going away, When you fear it going away, that becomes your claim. That becomes your claim. Agreeing with it. Agreeing with it simply means to stay in mutual accord, simply means to stay in mutual accord, in mutual accord with what you call love, with what you call love, and abiding in it, and abiding in it. It being as you will support its expression, will support its expression and continuation, period, period, period. We're saying period. Okay?
Thank you so much, Paul.
You're welcome. Continue, yes. I'm going to continue now. Lots of hands. It's another new name. I'm going to say good evening now to Ishana. Hello. Can you hear me? Oh. Ishana, are you there?
Can you hear me now?
I can. Hello.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm dealing with a 20-year illness and feeling very stuck in my personal life as well. And I'm just wondering how to work with this situation using the teachings. I've read all your books except for the most recent one.
Claim I am worth my body. Well, they're saying claim I am worth through my body. Everybody do this, please. No, I'm not a medical intuitive, and I don't diagnose or prescribe, and I don't give medical readings. I am worth my body. But they're saying say I am worth through my body. So Ishana, is that your real name, please?
Yes. Yep.
So I'm going to just invite everybody to do this for you, if we may, because why not? So if you would just all claim I am word through Ishana's body. Word, I am word. I am word through Ishana's body. Word, I am word. Okay, I'm tracking you and I can feel the energy working with you. My body. So they're saying to you, claim I am word through my body. I am word through my intestines. I am word through my intestines. I am word through my liver. I am word through my liver. Feel the vibration. Feel the vibration as it seeks to move through you, as it seeks to move through you. Yes, please tell them this to all of them. So I'm going to do this for everybody here, since there's a lot of new people here. The attunement to the word is a permanent attunement. If you did the attunement when they gave it to you, you've been attuned, which means the energy is present and can run. So we might as well just have an experience of it for everybody. So if you would, everybody here online, just claim I am word through my right hand. Word, I am word. And if you feel the energy in your right hand, just go to your right hand, just acknowledge that. And now just try I am word through my feet. Word, I am word. And if you feel the energy, go to your feet. If we were in a room, I just invite people to say yes, and most everybody tends to feel it. But the energy seems to go as directed. So I'm going to go back to Ishana for a moment. The guides are actually speaking, and they're saying, you have the right to change your mind about who you are. This simply means how you've self-identified through this process, how you've self-identified through this process must undergo change, must undergo change. You must agree to your vibrancy. You must agree to your vibrancy, to the potential for healing, to the potential for healing, the divine made manifest as you, to the divine made manifest as you. Many of you learn through illness. Many of you learn through your illness. Your illness, it becomes an opportunity to grow. It becomes an opportunity to grow. The dismantling of an illness, the dismantling of an illness as a structure in the energetic field, as a structure in the energetic field may occur if it is not required, or serving as a teacher still, or serving as a teacher still. When you are learning through illness, when you are learning through illness, you are taking opportunity. You are taking opportunity that could not be met, in another way. It becomes a teacher. It becomes a teacher. If you learn its lessons, of the divine as you, and that the divine as you, the true nature of your being, is an eternal being, is an eternal being. The ramifications of illness have actually been instructive in a reclamation of identity, Say this if you wish. They're saying to me to say this if you wish. So, some of you know this story, but I had a rough patch when the Book of Mastery was being channeled, and one of the things that happened during that period was I threw my back out so badly I was unable to walk for a couple of months, and I don't take opiates, and I was just in pain all the time. And you really sort of able to get to the bathroom and then back to bed, and that was mostly it. And one of the lessons that I got from the guides during this was, the true self cannot be persecuted, which means that the eternal divine self is always present in spite of the things that we self-identify through, whether it be, the body or the bank account or the career or any of those things that really can be taken away or lost or released or changed. So I'm going to see if there's anything else on this. Celebrate the body you're in. They're saying celebrate the body that you are in as it is today. As it is today, that will support you more than you know. That will support you more than you know, period. And they're saying period. Okay. So I'm going to say thank you. I'm going to continue now. All right. Emily, hello. How are you?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello.
Oh, it's wonderful to see your face and hear your voice.
Thank you.
So, in thinking about your teachings and thinking about all the vibrations of energy, and when you say, how do you serve? I think for me, that's where it gets confusing. And I think right now, I think most of the time is how do I serve in love? So,
well, I'm going to try to address this for everybody first because it's a common question that gets asked. The guides say that it's the true self or the divine self that claims, I know who I am, I know what I am, I know how I serve. The personality self doesn't know. I self-identify as, Paul by my age and my appearance and my career and my, all that stuff that isn't really who I am. So the claim, I know who I am, they say is always claimed by the true self. I know what I am. Again, the true self knows, and the true self knows how he or she serves. So if you make that claim, you're actually supporting the true self and calling that into manifestation. Now, what they've begun doing, and they really just began doing this in the last 5 weeks at the Esalen Institute, where I was in residence, and I was channeling pretty much every day there before students, they began to really break down the meaning of I know how I serve, which actually is a much different thing than I ever thought. It's actually its own attunement in the field of the vibration. It's a trip and a half. And I expect that as part of this teaching, they're going to go there with it because they brought it up in their introduction. We will. They're saying we will end sooner than later, and sooner than later for her. So now they're pointing to you. So it's a bigger thing, and it actually doesn't even feel in the vibration field. I'm going to turn into you very briefly. You just come through sort of saying, I need to know what I'm doing because I don't know. I want to know, and I want to know. That's it. You're saying you're doing everything you can as best you have known it, as best you have known it. But this is the class in beyond the known. But this is the class in beyond the known. So get ready to forget what you think you knew. So get ready to forget what you think you knew. Do you understand this? Yes. Do you understand this? Yes. You're not going to rely upon the old.
yes.
You're not going to rely upon the old anymore. It's done the best it could. It's done the best it could, period. And they're saying period. Okay, so I hope that helps. It's a start.
Yes.
Take care now.
Thanks.
I'm going to continue. All right, yes, please. There's another new name. Derek, good evening. Can you hear me? Okay, Derek, I'm not hearing you. So I'm going to move on. See if there's somebody else. All right. Donald, hello.
You are unmuted.
Hello. Donald, are you there?
Hey, Paul, how's it going?
It's going well, thank you.
Oh, really good. My wife and I are here and watching, and we have a question. Both of us have had like major spiritual enlightenments over the last little bit, and there's been lots of frustration and friction and even, clashes between us because of different paths and things that we're doing. And now it's almost seems like the guides are, I wouldn't say pushing us back together, but definitely assisting us in magical ways. Some of them are truly incredible. So my question is, when we feel this frustration and anxiety and so on, what's the best advice? Like, rather than looking for synchronicities and looking for signs, like, is there a way just to just be in it?
I'm laughing because I'm still waiting for my guides to get me a date. So let me see what they're doing in your marriage. I want to tune into this. So I'm going to tune into you first, and I may want to tune into your spouse by name. I go to you first. Can I have your spouse's first name, please? Donald? Yes? Are you both?
Yeah, I'm not getting your audio, unfortunately.
I need to hear names.
For some reason, your audio has just dropped out. So, but
okay, I can only tune in. I need your wife's name as well if I'm going to go back and forth between the two of you. So I don't know if you can hear me now. If you can't hear me now, there's not much point in giving you the answer, I suspect.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I tried.
There we go.
Oh, wait, yeah, we got your audio.
Oh,
Sorry.
yay, success.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So can I have Donald just give me your wife's name, or your wife? You're there too. What's your name, please?
Sally.
Sally. I'm going to see if I can tune into you. Well, Sally, you actually come through like that, which means kind of back off, but you do it close. Your parameters close. Some people do that, which is back off from a mile away. Donald, you do that. You do basically come to me, and you're a little directive with this. So let me see what has to happen. This just, what it looks like is this is just a balancing that's trying to occur. It's a bit of a seesaw right now. Do you understand this? This is how it seems to be operating, but if you stay on it and you settle, it's the good news is that it's remaining congruent. Do you understand this? So the seesaw is actually productive. It's working. You're not at odds as much as you're almost not in balance, but this is part of a process of getting there. So I'm actually not concerned about it. So let me see if there's anything to be done. They're pointing to Sally, so I'm going to go to her first. I basically hear from Sally, I need to be heard first before he decides for me. That's what I hear. And I don't get that goes over very well, if this is accurate. I want to be heard first. Basically, it's kind of like I want to be heard first. So nobody needs to be heard at all, actually, if you just do the idea here, and the guys are starting to speak as they get to trust each other to talk. This is just really about communication more than anything else. They have to trust each other to talk. There is no competition here. There is no competition here, and I hear much less divergence than they think. In fact, they are on the same path. In fact, they are on the same path, but looking over different shoulders at times. But looking over different shoulders at times to different scenes, different experiences, different ways of being, different ways of being. It is not a bad thing. It is not a bad thing to turn to the one beside you, and say, look at what I'm discovering, and say, look at what I'm discovering, as long as it's not at the cost of making the other wrong, as long as it's not at the cost of making the other wrong, period. And they're saying period. So that's what I get.
That's spot on. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we have time for another. Yes, please. Here's another new name. I'm going to say good evening to Elizabeth. Hello. Can you hear me? Hi.
Yes, I am here with my children, and I am a widow with 3 teenagers. So how can I make happy adults?
How can you make happy adults?
They're about to get there, and I want happy adults. And I'm a tough mom. I smoke a lot of pot, so that is not going to change. So how can I make happy adults?
Not by smoking. I hear actually not by smoking pot is what I hear. It's actually the first thing that I do hear. But let me go to you with this. They're saying by trusting them to be themselves, but not having the one authority, by not having to be the one in authority, but the one in shepherdance, but the one in shepherding, shepherdance, or shepherdence, if that's even a word, you're a shepherd. You're a shepherd, finally, of your children to shepherd well. To shepherd well, you must see clearly where you're going. You must see clearly where you are going and honor that. And honor that as the mandate of the parent, as the mandate of the parent. We're not speaking of the issue of smoking. We're saying we are not speaking of the issue of smoking as much as the issue of passivity to sight, of passivity to sight. When you see clearly before you, you can be directive. You can be directive for those who are behind you, and the understanding of what is required for them, and the understanding of what is required for them will be brought to you in clear ways. Bless the children that have been brought to you. Bless the children that have been brought to you. They are yours to shepherd, yes. They're yours to shepherd, yes, but to bring them to the world in joy. But to bring them to the world in joy is to celebrate them each, to celebrate who they have become, to celebrate who they have become and what they will call to them and what they will call to them in the higher octaves they embark into, period. And they're saying period. Okay, so that's what they're saying. Good luck to you. Thank you for the question. I'm going to continue now. I'm going to say we would like to talk. The guides are saying we would like to talk. So I'm going to go back to the guides for a second. We have two things to tell them all. We have much to teach you. We have much to teach you as you wish to learn, When we take your question in the future, when we take your questions in the future, we will take questions on your lives. We will take questions on your lives at times, or questions on the teachings, or questions on the teaching as we prepare each lecture, to deliver to you the assignments for your lives. The assignments for your lives will also be made clear, Paul is asking, is there an assignment for those in attendance tonight? Is there an assignment for those in attendance tonight? There is one, yes. There is one, yes. Start saying yes to what can be. Start saying yes to what can be, what is not known yet, what is not known yet, what can be known beyond what you have seen, beyond what you have seen or believed to be, or authorized, or agree to. Start saying yes. Start saying yes to what is beyond the known, and we can be met by it. And you will begin to be met by it. We thank you each for your presence. We will see you next week. They're saying we will see you next week. So I guess for those of you who'd like to continue, we'll see you next week. For those of you who are here once, I want to say thank you. It was a pleasure to share this with you. I hope you found it helpful or interesting, or had your own experience in whatever way. And I'm going to invite you to stay on for a moment. Dustin is here, and he's got a few announcements for you. Good night, everybody. Happy New Year. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.